There's a prayer you stopped praying, not because you stopped believing, but because the words dried up. And now when you sit down to pray, nothing comes. It feels hollow, like reading from a script nobody wrote for you. And underneath that, this low hum of shame, like you should know how to do this by now. Can I tell you something right now, before we do anything else? Not knowing how to pray does not mean God walked away from you. He didn't. He's right here, in the quiet you've been embarrassed by. Welcome to morning prayer. Before we go anywhere, just take one breath with me. Let your shoulders drop. You don't have to perform here. You don't have to sound holy or feel anything in particular. You just have to be in the room. And you already are. That's enough. That's actually enough. Now, I want to show you something. Luke chapter 11, verse 1. The disciples, the ones who literally walked with Jesus every single day, who watched him pray, who heard him pray, who saw what prayer did, they came to him and said, "Lord, teach us to pray." If they had to ask, you are not behind. You're not broken. You're not failing. You are exactly where they were, human, needing to be shown. And Jesus didn't sigh. He didn't cross his arms. He just showed them. He'll do the same thing for you today. Here's something else I want you to hear, and I mean really hear this. When you're carrying stress or grief, or just the accumulated weight of too many hard days in a row, your brain actually quiets the part of you that finds words. It's a protective response. Your nervous system is doing exactly what it was designed to do. That's not a spiritual failure. That's just your body trying to hold you together. And here's where it gets good. Romans chapter 8, verse 26. The Spirit helps us in our weakness. We do not know what we ought to pray for, but the Spirit Himself intercedes for us through wordless groans. Wordless groans. God didn't write a verse about our perfect prayers. He wrote a verse about the sounds we make when words are completely gone. The exhausted sigh, the blank ceiling stare at 2 a.m., the tears that come for no reason. That is prayer. The Spirit takes it and brings it to the Father. Your silence has not been wasted, not 1 second of it. And then there's this. Some of us were taught, maybe not with words, but we learned it somewhere, that more words make a better prayer. That if you could just find the right phrase, the right formula, the right amount of sincerity. Listen to what Jesus actually says to the people who believed that. Matthew chapter 6, verses 7 and 8. When you pray, do not keep on babbling like pagans, for they think they will be heard because of their many words. Do not be like them, for your Father knows what you need before you ask Him. Your Father already knows. So if you've been feeling like a failure because your prayers are clumsy and short and sometimes just nothing, that feeling is not from Jesus. He's not grading you. He's not comparing your prayer life to someone else's. He already knows what's in your heart before you open your mouth. So the pressure, you can put it down right now. So let me say this out loud. Say it with me if you can. You are not prayerless. You are learning to pray again. And there is a real difference between those two things. One is an identity. The other is a season. This is a season. I needed to hear that recently too. I'm not going to pretend I've got this figured out. There was a stretch of weeks where I'd sit down to pray and feel absolutely nothing. Just static. And I kept thinking I must have done something wrong, missed something. And I finally just said out loud, God, I don't know how to find you right now. That was the one that cracked something open. And I'll say this gently before we go any further. If what you're carrying goes deeper than a dry prayer season, if the numbness runs through everything and you can't find your way back no matter what, this prayer is support, not a replacement for wise, professional help when you need it. There's no shame in needing both. Now, I want to give you something simple, something you'll actually remember when the blank feeling comes back at 10 a.m. or 2 p.m., or the next time you sit down and feel nothing. 3 bowls. Stay with me. You know what a bowl does. It holds things. Now, I want to give you something simple. Something you'll actually remember when the blank feeling comes back at 10 a.m. or 2 p.m., or the next time you sit down and feel nothing. 3 bowls. Stay with me. You know what a bowl does. It holds things. It doesn't judge what you put in it. Doesn't care if what you bring is beautiful or half-formed or just honest. You put something in and the bowl holds it without flinching. That's what prayer is supposed to feel like. The first bowl is the gratitude bowl. What's still here? Not the big stuff necessarily, the small stuff. The breath in your lungs. The fact that something in you pressed play this morning instead of scrolling past it. The second bowl is the honesty bowl. What actually hurts. No filter. The distance, the numbness, the disappointment. All of it. The third bowl is the request bowl. What do you need help carrying today? Just today. Not the whole year, just today. We're going to walk through all 3 together in the prayer. But first, I don't want to make you wait any longer to talk to God. Some of you have been waiting a long time, and I don't want to fill that space with more explanation. So right here, just a moment, right now. God, we're here. We don't have the words. We're not even sure we're doing this right, but we showed up, and we're trusting that showing up is enough. Hold us in this. Meet us where the words ran out. Okay. After we pray together, I've got one more thing for you. Something small. Something your body can do to agree with everything we're about to say to God. So stay with me through the prayer. If you can, just uncross your arms. Open your hands on your lap, or let them rest open at your sides. A small posture of receiving, not performing, just open. Let us pray. Our Father in heaven, we're here. We're actually here. And for some of us, that took everything we had this morning. Just pressing play, just showing up, just being willing to try again after a stretch where trying felt pointless. So we're here, and we're trusting that you see that you count it. We're going to bring you 3 bowls today, Lord. Nothing fancy, nothing polished, just what we've got. The first one is gratitude. And God, we're going to start small, because that's honest. Some of us can't get to the big stuff right now. The big stuff feels complicated. So we're starting with what's still here. Thank you for the breath in our lungs right now. We didn't earn it. We didn't have to remind our bodies to keep breathing through the night. You held that. You kept that going even while we slept. Thank you that we woke up. Thank you that something pulled us here this morning, even if it was faint, even if it was just a quiet, maybe I need this. That wasn't us being impressive, God. That was you. You initiated. You came looking. Thank you for not giving up on finding us. And God, Thank you for the Spirit, for Romans chapter 8, verse 26, for the fact that when we had nothing left to say, the Spirit was still saying something on our behalf. That all those silent mornings, all those blank ceiling stares, all those sighs that were too heavy to turn into words, you were already translating them. You already heard. Not one of those moments was wasted. Now the second bowl, Lord, the honesty one. Okay, here it is. Some of us have been far away, not because we stopped loving you, but because somewhere along the way it started feeling like the connection went quiet, and we didn't know how to fix it. And the longer it stayed quiet, the more ashamed we felt about how long it had been. And the shame made it harder to come back. And then more time passed, and you know how this goes. You already know. God, what do you see when you look at us right now? Because we've been seeing people who are bad at this. People who should be further along. People who forgot something that was supposed to be natural. But we don't think that's what you see. We think you see someone who came back. Someone who's still here. Someone who, even after all the quiet and all the distance, still wanted to find their way home. And God, we want to be honest about the numbness, the flatness, the opening a Bible and feeling nothing, the saying the words and not feeling them land, the quiet disappointment we've been embarrassed to admit, even to you, that prayer wasn't working the way we thought it was supposed to. We're not pretending that away today. We're putting it in the bowl, right here, all of it. The distance we felt and didn't know how to close, the prayers we gave up on, the silence we didn't know what to do with. Here it is, Lord. We're done pretending. And Father, would you meet us in the place where the words ran out? Not the put-together version of us, not the version that has it figured out, the version that's sitting here right now, a little uncertain, a little rusty, genuinely trying. Would you meet that version? Would you come right into the middle of that? Because Psalm 116 says, "You turned your ear to our cry." And this is our cry. It's not eloquent, it's not impressive, but it's real. It's real, God. And you said that's what you were listening for. Thank you that you're not grading us right now. Thank you that Jesus said, you already know what we need before we ask. So we're not here to inform you. We're here because coming near to you changes something in us. And we need that today. Third bowl, Lord, what we need help carrying, just today. For the ones who woke up this morning and the first feeling was weight, not peace, just weight. God, would you walk into that with them today? Not necessarily fix it, just be in it. Be present in it. In the commute, in the first cup of coffee, in the thing they're dreading at 10 a.m. Just today, Lord. Just walk with them through today. For the ones who have been white-knuckling something, carrying it so long their hands have cramped around it, God, would you gently open those hands? Help us loosen the grip just a little today. For the ones who still feel like they don't know how to do this prayer, this whole thing, God, would you be bigger than their uncertainty? Would you show them, the way you showed the disciples, that showing up and asking is already the prayer? Father, what are you doing in the silence we couldn't see? Because we believe, we're choosing to believe, that you were doing something, that the quiet wasn't absence, that you were holding something together that we couldn't see from where we were standing. Help us trust that today. When it doesn't feel like it, help us trust it anyway. And God, I want to say something directly to you on behalf of everyone here. We are not prayerless. We are learning to pray again. And the fact that we're here, the fact that we pressed play, that we opened our hands, that we tried, Father, that was you. That was all you. You didn't wait for us to find our way back. You came and got us. Now, we're going to stop talking for a moment, not because we've run out of things to say, but because sometimes the most honest thing we can do is just stop and let you love us, without earning it, without performing it, without trying to feel something we're not feeling. Just receive. That's all. He's here, right here. In the quiet you've been embarrassed by, he was always here. Let him hold you. You don't have to do anything right now. Just let him. Just breathe. Okay, Lord, walk with us today. Into the ordinary moments. Into the places where prayer still feels clumsy and imperfect and small. Be louder than the shame. Be closer than the distance felt. And when we forget everything we prayed this morning, remind us. A whisper, a word, a moment that catches us off guard and smells like grace. We trust you with today. In Jesus' name, amen. Before you open your eyes, if you can, I want you to do one small thing. Stand up, just for a second. Walk to a window or a door. Open the blinds. Step into the light if you can. Let it touch your face. If standing isn't possible today, that's okay. Just turn toward the nearest window or light and breathe it in. That small act, that's your body agreeing with what we just prayed. That's you physically choosing to step from the dim into the light. It's a tiny thing, and it matters more than you know. James chapter 4, verse 8. Come near to God, and he will come near to you. You just did that, in the most imperfect, clumsy, real way possible, and he came near. And if the blank feeling comes back today, and it might, just whisper this: I am not prayerless. I am learning to pray again. My clumsy prayers are welcome in heaven. God isn't looking for eloquence. He's just looking for me. You showed up today. That was brave. That was real. And God met you right here, in the clumsy, in the quiet, in the trying again. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not prayerless. You are his. And he came looking for you this morning. And if the hollow feeling returns tonight and God still feels quiet, I made something for that exact moment. A gentle prayer for when you know he's there but can't quite hear him. The link is right below this video in the description. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow.